rainbow. Oh, here we go. Oh, the seaweed!
Come on! You got it! It's a big one! It's a huge one! It's a huge one. Oh, holy moly! He got it! Woo! Everyone cheer for Daddy! Holy moly, he's awesome.
Hey y'all, today I am reviewing the 13 Fishing Inception SZ. Check that baby out. And you know why I like it so much? I like it so much because of its obnoxious green color. I love it. And it's not a shiny green color, it's more like a matte green color. Now I've had this for about 6 months and I use this more than any of my other rods and reels combined. I use this one. So it's just beautiful. So here's what whenever I'm getting a bait caster, the number one thing that concerns me, the number one thing that I'm worried about is backlash. I hate backlash. And I've had this thing for 6 months. I've fished with this more than any other of my rod and reels, and I have not one time had to cut my line and re-spool. Not once. Now that is absolutely amazing. I've got some very high-end Shimano's that I'm gonna do some reviews on that we've had to cut and re-spool. But for whatever reason, this bad boy right here never had to do it. So that's like the coolest thing to me. And I think a lot of that is attributed to the CZB technology. So that is the Concept Zero bearings. So 13 Fishing, I think they invented this system. I don't know that any other manufacturer has this system, but basically it doesn't use your standard ball bearings inside here. So what it uses instead is the CZB technology, and what that does is it reduces the friction on the spool inside of here. Now less friction means longer casting and higher durability. This thing's gonna last longer without all that friction. And here's what I absolutely love. Here's the next thing that I want. So whenever I'm shopping for a reel, I want no backlash. The next thing I want is high durability and low maintenance. So I was researching this rod and reel. Actually, I was researching all my rod and reels kind of to try and do these reviews. And all of them said, the Shimano's, I'm watching these reviews and these guys are like, look, if you got to service it, take it to a Shimano dealer to have it oiled and lubricated and all this stuff. You know what 13 Fishing says to do with this? You don't have to oil it. It said, in fact, if you oil it, you will do more damage to it. What you have to do is, you have to wipe it down with a paper towel. That's what their website says. Wipe it down with a paper towel. So that's all the maintenance that you have to do with this thing, and it's absolutely awesome that that's it. So let's go into a little bit more of the technicalities of this thing. So if you look, you know, a lot of us, we store our hooks when we're storing it. We store it up here on the reel. What I like that 13 Fishing did was they put a little storage in there, right there. So there's a little hook grabber for your hook. So you won't wear this down, you won't chip it. I thought that was really neat. Really, I mean, the rod also has one on it, but I love that the reel has that little holder right there. So if you look at it, this is called a beetle wing. How they open this door right here. So you just click this down here, it opens up and it just slides back. So and there's your braking system. So all my other ones, they pop out completely, and I've actually had some, especially my Lew's, where they popped out while they're in the case or in my thing, and I had to put them back together. It was a mess. But inside there, you'll see your internal brakes, your braking system. Whenever I bought this, there was actually 13 fishing representative at Academy when I bought this, and you know, I was complaining about Backlash. I'm sick of Backlash. I hate Backlash. And he basically said, man, set that thing all the way to 6. So you can set this brake system all the way to 6. Let's get it up there. And that's the brakes fully on. And you start with that, and as you get used to this thing, as you get more comfortable with it and using the thumb control and all that stuff, you can lessen that brake on there. And again, I've never had a Backlash so bad on here that I had to cut my line and respool. So, and as you saw, I'm down to 1 now, where I really have no brake on it. So I use my, I can't remember what it's called, the EVA. But it's this little micro braking system on the side that tightens down on your spool. So here's what I love about this, and I've noticed that it's hit and miss with my rod and reels, but listen. I don't know if you can hear it, but whenever you tighten down, it's a click. So you can hit it, click. So what I've learned is, as I've used this thing, I've gotten it dialed in, and what I've learned is, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, 2 clicks to the right. If I just want to cast that thing as hard as I can, I have that little bit of a braking system on there to break it down. Now, if I'm just pitching, then I do lefty-loosey, 2 clicks to the left, and I can pitch and get total accuracy. So that's another thing that I love about this. The drag, it's got that star drag system that most of these baitcasters have, and I was impressed. It's got 18 pounds of max drag, so that's pretty good. In fact, I think of all my reels, that is the best. That's the #1 that I've got. That's the highest drag that I've got on any of my rods and reels. So I've got this thing. I just wanted it to match because I'm corny like that, but I've got this thing paired with the 13 Fishing Fate Black 7'4" heavy fast rod on there. So my favorite way to fish is, and it's not very good for the summer heat when the water temperatures are between, I mean, I fished Lake Belton last week and the water temp was 91 degrees. It's insane. Today I'm at a different lake, it's 80.5. But my favorite way to fish is, I like to just get my boat up against the bank and troll along the bank and pitch and cast. I really want to get as far away from the bank and then still be as accurate as possible. And that 7'4", that thing lets me launch. It just lets me launch this bait over to the bank with a lot of accuracy. So, and I'm pulling through all these reeds and everything. You'll see some videos, or I may have already shown you some videos of me pulling this thing through there. Now, we talked about my most important thing. So 1, I don't want any backlash. 2, I want durability and low maintenance, which this thing, of all my rods and reels, has the lowest maintenance and so far the highest durability. When you feel it, it just feels very, very well made. It feels solid. But so I've got no backlash, high durability, low maintenance. The other thing that I want is I want quiet. I cannot stand those rods and reels. When you're reeling in, you can hear the grinding or the squealing or whatever noise. And this thing is absolutely silent. So I love that about it. Just very, very quiet, very silent. And although it is one of the kind of mid-range 13 fishing reels, it has a lot of the same technology as their higher end reels, including that CZB system, and just the spool system that it has in here is the same spool system that it uses in its high end reels. So look, this is an awesome, awesome, awesome reel. I absolutely love it. I've got zero complaints on it. I think all of my other reels I've backlashed to the point where I had to cut it out and pull it out and re-spool the whole thing. And look, that's like a $20 mistake right there, because the line, I used that Spider Wire Ultra Invisicast, and I've never had it. So I've literally, and I'm going to do reviews of all of my reels over the next few weeks. But this one right here, I thought I would lead with my favorite and lead with the best. I love it. I absolutely love it. I've got zero complaints on this thing, so it's definitely a 5-star. I literally cannot think of a negative thing to say about it. So let's do a little bit of fishing and see if we can catch something today. Here we go. So I need to be able to cast as far as I can to get out there. Just a nice smooth cast, you know? And really, it's just like pinpoint accuracy with this thing. I am by far not the best caster. But just smooth. You see how smooth that is? Just smooth. And this rod, it's got the power to pull through all these reeds. I mean, you can see all these reeds over here. Get the scale.